skinny, awkward looking. Somebody teased me in the playground. Somebody else insisted I needed feeding or tidying up. Life at home was unstable. I had a quirky mother, to whom I never felt as close as I wanted. I lacked a father figure, but had an older brother who was preferred over me. I spent my childhood years depressed, thinking that the only key to happiness was me looking a certain way. At night, I would fan out my hair on the pillow, thinking my mother would pop her head around the corner and think, what a beautiful daughter she has. In fact, I felt anything but that. I felt angry, disappointed, and weird. Later, school became a struggle. I became stuck in my own rut of negative thinking that my self-development suffered. Despite positive attention from subjects, aptitude from teachers, I became entrenched in my own conclusion that I was not good enough. I was allowing myself to be ruled over this idea of unattainable perfection. I will look to the mirror to help me cope with these difficult feelings. If only I could appear a certain way, I would be okay. For once. So I continued. I would thermals underneath my clothes to bulk me out. I appeared layers of makeup. I wore my hair a particular way to disguise everything I saw wrong with me. The mirror was my best friend and my worst enemy. I was secretly gazing at them because the monster was always gazing back, keeping me locked in a cycle of framing and face pulling. I couldn't look at it in front of anyone. I would become quite hysterical at a photograph of me. I believe I was a monster. At the age of 16, I started working. People would offer me and shower me with compliments that I should be wanting. Although I thrived on the positive attention when I came to others and I was with others, I knew that once I did go back home, that my hellish reality would dawn on me again. I felt like a fraud. I would spend hours looking at myself in the mirror, working, dreaming, worrying, exercising, that every addictive food that I was eating was conspiring to make my skin look uglier. I would check my reflection from every angle, from every light, always, ending up with myself weeping and tears. My life wasn't much about living as surviving. I didn't feel worthy of happiness. So many times I ran away from it, only to find that. Funnily enough, I couldn't get away with myself. With each new job, with each new home, new area, I vowed things would be different. Just like how you get a new haircut, you think you're a new person, but you're not. And so did that happen to me. Nothing changed. I remember when I first heard the word body dysmorphic disorder. Flipping through a magazine, I came across this article which said, I feel too ugly to live. And as I was reading it, I had a sense of revelation. Like, I wasn't alone, I wasn't crazy. I know some people struggle to believe that this is a disorder, but for me, it was no mistaking it. So I went to get some help, and I went determined and came back that I would take touch with this disorder. I tried various medications, prayer, medicine, and even some counseling. Some days I would get frustrated. Some days weren't easy. Some days I would want to cry. But it's expected of yourself. You pick yourself up and then you brush yourself down. I found ways to control my DDD demons. The things I would not find joy in, I would start finding joy in that. What I would like to say to you guys is that there is a light in the end of the tunnel. It's a slow process, thinking the way you should be. But there's always a different approach. I think that life is an adventure, and that is the way you should look at it, despite having a disorder. So where am I now? Well, I could keep my hand on my heart and take away valuable insight or being depressed and sadness thinking about it. I choose the latter. I determine what beauty is. I define what beauty is allowed to be. And I know how children are designed to think that, like, how beauty is and what it is supposed to be defined as. For kids, I know how sensitive and vulnerable we are and how important it is to nourish and nurture every soul. Just a quick reminder, if this reaches out to you, you should think about it. Everything is beautiful. If everything was beautiful, nothing would be beautiful.